Dear students, welcome to RPSGOS online classes for science and wish you a very happy and cheerful morning. Today, we will continue with the chapter Microorganisms, Module 7. And in this module, we will study about the importance of nitrogen, and then we will explain you the importance of microorganisms in the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen forms 78% of our atmosphere. Nitrogen is required by both plants and animals for their growth and development. It is an essential component of proteins which make up the bodies of plants and animals. It is also present in chlorophyll, nucleic acid, and vitamins. The circulation of nitrogen elements through living things and non-living environment is called nitrogen cycle in nature. The atmosphere contains about 78% of nitrogen gas. The amount of nitrogen remains constant in the atmosphere, and this is maintained by the process of nitrogen cycle. All living organisms get nitrogen in the form of proteins, nucleic acids present in the food. Plants also obtain nitrogen from the soil. So, we can say nitrogen is a key nutrient or element for the plants. However, the abundant nitrogen in the atmosphere cannot be used directly by plants or animals. Nitrogen cycle makes usable nitrogen available to plants and other living organisms. So we can define nitrogen cycle as a biogeochemical process which transforms the inert nitrogen present in the atmosphere to a more usable form for living organisms. The nitrogen exists in both organic and inorganic forms. Organic nitrogen exists in living organisms and they get passed through the food chain by the consumption of other living organisms. The nitrogen is made available to plants by some nitrogen fixing microorganisms which can convert the inert nitrogen into a usable form such as nitrites and nitrates. Nitrogen undergoes various types of transformation to maintain a balance in the ecosystem. Types of nitrogen fixation. The nitrogen can be fixed by specific processes. The first one is atmospheric fixation. It is a natural phenomena in which during rains, when lightning strikes, nitrogen and oxygen in the atmosphere combine due to the electric discharge and form oxides of nitrogen. These oxides dissolve in rainwater, forming nitric acid, which comes down to the earth. Another process of nitrogen fixation is the industrial nitrogen fixation. It is a man-made alternative that aids in nitrogen fixation by the use of ammonia. Ammonia is produced by the direct combination of nitrogen and hydrogen, and later it is converted into various fertilizers such as urea, ammonium sulfate, etc. The third method is biological nitrogen fixation. Here, the microorganisms play a vital role in converting the atmospheric nitrogen into useful nitrogen compounds. We already know that nitrogen is not usable directly from the air by the plants and animals. Bacteria like rhizobium and blue-green algae transform the unusable form of nitrogen into other compounds that are more readily usable by the plants. These nitrogen compounds get fixed in the soil by these microbes or microorganisms. These bacteria consist of a typical type of enzyme called nitrogenase, which has the capability to combine gaseous nitrogen with hydrogen to form ammonia. Let's talk about the primary producers. Plants take in the nitrogen compounds from the soil with the help of their roots, which are available in the form of ammonia, nitrite ions, nitrate ions, or ammonium ions, and are used in the formation of amino acids, proteins, nucleic acids, and other nitrogenous compounds in plant and animals. Animals, including man, utilize plant proteins and synthesize animal proteins. This way, the nitrogen enters the food web when the primary consumers eat the plants. Let's talk about the process ammonification. When plants or animals die, the nitrogen present in the organic matter is released back into the soil. The decomposers, namely the bacteria or fungi present in the soil, convert the organic matter back into ammonia. This process of decomposition produces ammonia, which is further used for other biological processes. The next process is nitrification. In this process, the ammonia is converted into nitrate by the presence of bacteria in the soil. Nitrites are formed by the oxidation of ammonia with the help of Nitrosomonas bacterium species. Later, the produced nitrites are converted into nitrates by Nitrobacter. This conversion is very important as ammonia gas is toxic for plants. Next process follows after nitrification is denitrification. This is the process in which the nitrogen compounds makes its way back into the atmosphere by converting nitrates into gaseous nitrogen. This process of the nitrogen cycle is the final stage and occurs in the absence of oxygen. Denitrification is carried out by the denitrifying bacterial species like Theobacillus and Pseudomonas, which will process nitrate to gain oxygen and gives out free nitrogen gas as a byproduct. This is the nitrogen cycle, where the atmospheric nitrogen is first fixed by the bacteria, nitrogen fixing bacteria. Then bacteria in turn fix nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds. Then compounds of nitrogen is utilized by the plants from the soil. Then plants are eaten up by the animals. Nitrogenous waste from the excretion and death of animals and plants, again forming compounds of nitrogen in the soil, and then some microorganisms like bacteria turn the compounds of nitrogen into gaseous nitrogen, and this gaseous nitrogen moves back into the atmosphere. With this, I end up the module. Hope you have liked the video. Thank you very much. Stay safe and healthy, students. Goodbye.